Will Canada offer jobs to H-1B holders? Why did Asif warn before Pak-Afghan talks? Is India cutting Russian oil imports? Why did Trump praise Xi and tease JD Vance? Why did Maharashtra sign a deal with Starlink? Why does the army chief stress shared innovation? Why is the government focusing on AI innovation? Can Gill shine in the fourth T20? We'll discuss all these major stories in detail. Namaste and welcome to Sutra Network, your trusted link to news, views, and stories that matter. Here we'll untangle the threads of today's biggest headlines and deeper issues. After the US administration under Donald Trump raised the annual H-1B visa fee to as much as $1 lakh, Canada has taken a major step to attract foreign skilled professionals and researchers. Prime Minister Mark Carney's government has announced a special fund of $1.7 billion in its new budget. Under this initiative, Canada will employ over 1,000 trained researchers and technical experts. According to a report, the government believes that these highly skilled workers will play a crucial role in enhancing the country's global competitiveness and strengthening its future economy. Currently, about 70% of H-1B visa holders are Indians, making this plan a significant opportunity for Indian professionals. However, Canada has also reiterated its decision to continue limiting the number of annual admissions for foreign students. The strict visa policies in the United States have created challenges for Indian professionals. While Canada's supportive stance is a welcome move, the Carney government's initiative will not only attract global talent but also open new opportunities for skilled Indian youth, benefiting both nations. Pakistan's Defense Minister Khwaja Asif warned of a possible war as Islamabad and the Taliban begin the third round of peace talks in Istanbul to curb terrorism and restore stability. Speaking to reporters before the talks, Asif said that continuous cross border terrorism and infiltration could lead to escalation but hoped Afghanistan would act with wisdom to restore peace. The talks, led by Pakistan's ISI chief, Lieutenant General Asim Malik, and Afghanistan GDI head Abdul Haq Wasik, aim to review earlier commitments and finalize a verification mechanism. However, skepticism remains in both capitals. Pakistan's key demand is that Afghanistan ensures its soil is not used for terrorism against Pakistan. Following the US decision to impose new sanctions on Russia's oil companies, Rosneft and Lukoil, from November 21st, India is set to reduce direct purchases of Russian crude oil. This move is expected to lower imports by the end of November. Companies like Reliance Industries, Mangalore Refinery and Petrochemicals, and HPCL Mittal Energy will comply with US regulations. The sanctions restrict Russian oil firms' assets and transactions in the US. Analysts predict a sharp decline in Russian oil shipments in December. Though India will compensate by increasing imports from West Asia, Latin America, West Africa, and the US. In October, India imported 568,000 barrels of crude per day from the US, the highest since March 2021. Meanwhile, Vadinar Refinery will continue its current procurement arrangements. US President Donald Trump recalled his recent meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping, praising the discipline of Xi's officials and jokingly wishing his own cabinet acted the same way. Speaking to Republican senators, Trump mimicked how 6 Chinese officials stood stiffly behind Xi, saying, "I have never seen men so scared." He called Xi tough and smart and teased Vice President JD Vance, saying, "JD doesn't behave like that, he interrupts." The room burst into laughter. The two leaders met last month during the APEC summit in Busan. where they discussed cooperation on rare earth minerals and agreed to maintain stability in China US relations despite ongoing tensions. Maharashtra has become the first Indian state to sign a deal with Elon Musk's Starlink to provide satellite based internet across remote and underserved regions. Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis announced the agreement with Starlink Vice President Lauren Rear, calling it a joint leap toward bridging the digital divide. The letter of intent aims to deliver high-speed connectivity to districts like Nandurbar, Washim, and Dharashiv under the state's Digital Maharashtra mission. Starlink, which recently received India's GMPCS license, will deploy its technology once all regulatory approvals are cleared. Fadnavis said the move supports PM Modi's Digital India vision, while Dreyer added that Starlink's mission is to connect communities left behind by traditional infrastructure. Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi said that in a world of complex threats, no nation can remain secure alone, and collaborative defense innovation is the strongest shield. Speaking at the India Defense Conclave 2025, he stated that the future of warfare will not be defined by any single domain or doctrine, but by how decisively ideas are transformed into lasting capabilities. Referring to Operation Sindoor, he emphasized the flexibility gained by the armed forces and the integration of new military systems. Devedi said strategic partnerships serve as bridges of opportunity and that India must advance towards self reliance through research and development. He urged the industry to increase investment in AI, cyber, quantum, drone, and autonomous technologies, citing indigenous systems like the Akash missile, ATEX gun, and Zoravar tank as example of success in this direction. IT Secretary S. Krishnan said that the government is currently focusing on promoting innovation in artificial intelligence rather than regulation. He clarified, our priority right now is innovation, not regulation. A law will be introduced only if needed. Speaking at the launch of India AI Governance Guidelines report, Krishnan stated that the government is adopting a human centric approach to ensure AI benefits reach more people. The report recommends 7 principles for AI governance: trust, people first approach, fairness, accountability, transparency, safety, and sustainability. The committee led by IIT Madras Professor B. Ravindran suggested strengthening the AI framework and safety regulations. Principal Scientific Advisor Ajay Sood emphasized that ministries and industries must work together to build a secure and innovative AI ecosystem. Daigyo, owner of Royal Challengers Bengaluru, has initiated a strategic review to potentially divest its stake in the IPL and WPL franchisee. In a SEBI filing, the company said the review, conducted through Royal Challengers Sports Private Limited, a subsidiary of United Spirits Limited, will be completed by March 31st, 2026. United Spirits CEO Praveen Someshwar called RCB a valuable but non-core asset, aligning with Diageo's plan to focus on its primary alcohol business. The move follows global headwinds for Diageo and renewed speculation about RCB's future ownership. The franchise's operations and preparations for the upcoming IPL and WPL seasons will continue unaffected during the review process. For more such global updates, subscribe to our channel, press the bell icon, and do visit our website.